This is where most people get all confused about Medicare right from the start. It's when do you sign up? And it seems like this should be a pretty simple thing, but of course they've made it more complicated than it needs to be. So you ought to be able to sign up for Medicare when you're ready to sign up for Medicare, but you have to do it during an enrollment period. And you would think, well, that shouldn't be hard. There can't be too many enrollment periods. Well, there are actually 6 different enrollment periods. That's what makes it complicated when you're trying to figure out exactly when to sign up for Medicare. And I'm Keith Armbrecht. I'm founder of Medicare on Video. I help people across the country make the right Medicare choices. I can absolutely help you as well. I'd appreciate it if you allow me to help you. There's no cost to utilize any of my information. Feel free to go through all my videos. My website has a tremendous amount of information, and we'll get everything put in the right place. I just wanted to jump in for a quick second and invite you to join my private Facebook group, Talking Medicare, where you can get answers to just about any questions on Medicare and interactions with others that are also in Medicare. There are no agents, no sales whatsoever. It's absolutely free. Just visit talkingmedicaregroup.com. It'll take you right there. You can sign up for free. Easy to do. Enjoy the video. Right now, I'm going to talk about these 6 different enrollment periods, and kind of crazy that they separate everything like that, but that's kind of the way it is. So when most people come into Medicare, it's generally when they're turning age 65. And that kind of used to be the majority by far, but now a lot of people work past age 65. They're not ready to come into Medicare. They have insurance at work, so they're going to keep everything where it is. But if you are going to come in at age 65, you're going to need to do it during what's called IEP, Initial Enrollment Period. This is the first enrollment period for coming into Medicare, and it's not too complicated, but it can throw people for a loop when they mess it up, that's for sure. So if you're going to come in at age 65, maybe you've already retired or you don't have group insurance at work, whatever it may be, coming in at age 65, first thing to know is it's going to start on the first of the month of your 65th birthday. So if you're born on June 10th, it's going to start on June 1st. Now that's unless you're born on June 1st. So they throw this extra caveat in here. If you're born on the first of the month, it's actually going to start on the first of the previous month. So if you're born on June 1st, it's going to start on May 1st. So it's going to start 30 days earlier, and you're going to have to do everything a month earlier just to get everything set up in place in time, because you don't want to miss this timeline because it just makes things much more complicated. But for most people, turning age 65, it's going to start on the first of the month of your 65th birthday. So not too hard. And you pretty much have a 6-month window ahead of time to get everything set up. So you want to do this early. You don't really need to do it 6 months out, but certainly 3 months out is a good time to make sure you get everything in place. You got to make that major decision right off the bat. Do you go into Medicare Advantage or do you stay with original Medicare? I certainly recommend, whenever possible, do what you can to stay with original Medicare. It just works terrific. You can go to any doctor, any hospital. You don't need to ask for permission, pre-authorizations, all sorts of crazy stuff that people hate that original Medicare doesn't make you do. And then you get a Medicare supplement plan that goes with it, and your out-of-pocket costs is just super low. And again, it just works the way it's supposed to work. So initial enrollment period, turning age 65, going to start on the first of the month of your 65th birthday. Unless you're born on the first of the month, it's going to start the previous month on the first, and then get everything set up ahead of time so you don't have any stress and complications. So that takes care of enrollment period number 1. Now we have enrollment period number 2. It's called the general enrollment period. And this enrollment period is designed for people that have messed up their initial enrollment period. So if you should have been coming into Medicare at age 65, so in other words, you didn't have group insurance at work, and you turn 65, that's when you're supposed to come into Medicare. If you miss that window, you then are pushed into the general enrollment period. And there can be a penalty on your Medicare Part B because you didn't come in when you were supposed to. I don't know why they make this such a hard timeline, but they do. So we want to get it correct. But if you missed it during the initial enrollment period, you're going to be in the general enrollment period. The general enrollment period runs between January 1st and the end of March. And that's the only time that you can sign up for Medicare if you messed up your initial enrollment period. So if you did miss your window for initial enrollment period, you need to make your choice between January 1st and the end of March, and it will start the first of the following month. So for instance, if you missed your initial enrollment period and you're ready to come into Medicare in June, then you're going to have to wait until the beginning of the next year to be able to come into Medicare. Again, big penalty if that's what has happened, but that is the way the general enrollment period works. So we want to make sure we get our initial enrollment period correct, and so we don't have to fall into that general enrollment period. Now the next enrollment period, number 3, is called a special enrollment period. It's not all that special, but they call it the special enrollment period, designed for people that continue to work past age 65. Number 1, for an employer that has 20 or more employees, and number 2, they have group insurance at work. So you need to have group insurance called creditable coverage at work. As long as you have group health insurance and your employer has 20 or more employees, that's what you need to be able to delay your Medicare past age 65. So let's say you're going to retire, you have your group coverage, and you're going to retire at 67 or 77 or in your 80s, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. And it treats it kind of just like you're turning 65. So as long as you have that group coverage at work, your employer has 20 or more employees, then you don't have to worry about Medicare until you get there. One thing I would like to mention, you really, if you're going to stay there, make sure you don't start your Medicare Part A. Sometimes they want to start that automatically, but if your Medicare Part A starts, you can no longer contribute to a health savings account at work. Doesn't make any sense on why that is, but it's in the laws that once Medicare starts, 6 months previous to that, you can no longer contribute to an HSA account. Complicates things even further. So just something to keep aware of. And again, we can explain all that if you want to give us a call. But it's just something to know. So if you're going to retire, you know you're going to retire on June 1st. You want to do all this stuff ahead of time because there's more to it when you're going to retire. You need to show that you've had that group health insurance coverage the whole time that you've been eligible for Medicare. So you're going to need a form. The form's called L564. Of course, why would it be called anything else? L564. I make it easy for you to get that. It's right on my website. Go to MedicareOnVideo.com, go to group or to guides and forms, and you can download it right there. It's right at the top. Download it. You need to get it to your HR department. They're going to fill it out, get it back to you. Then you need to get that to Social Security so that you don't have a penalty on your Medicare Part B or your Medicare Part D. So again, we walk you through all this stuff. If you want to just fill out the information on my site while you're there, we'll make sure all your pieces get put in the right places. There's no cost to you to let us help you. So hopefully you'll allow us to help you. And then we'll make sure we just get it right from the beginning. So if you're going to retire, you're going to be in that special enrollment period, just the first of the month of when you're going to retire. You need to have that L564 form filled out by your HR department showing you have creditable coverage up until the time you're coming into Medicare. Then you need to get it to Social Security so that they can apply it so you don't have a penalty. So that takes care of enrollment period number 3. Enrollment period number 4 is probably the one that most people might be familiar with because it's the one that happens at the end of every year where you have all those TV commercials primarily trying to sell Medicare Advantage plans. You have a lot of celebrities like Joe Namath or J.J. Walker or William Shatner trying to sell you into a Medicare Advantage plan. And they make promises that for the most part just aren't true. They try and give you all sorts of free stuff, but it's very limited when you actually call and talk to them. But they're going to be cracking down on that, and hopefully it's going to happen this year where we won't have as many of those hype commercials that really sell people into Medicare Advantage, and then they figure out pretty quickly that that's not what they're looking for. But this period at the end of the year is called AEP, Annual Election Period. It runs between October 15th and December 7th. You have to initiate your change between those two dates, and then it becomes effective on January 1st. So this is primarily for Medicare Advantage people and Medicare drug plan people. So if you wanted to get out of a Medicare Advantage plan, come back to original Medicare, I would highly encourage that. You have to initiate that between October 15th and December 7th, and then it would become effective on January 1st. Now, if you're on a Medicare drug plan and maybe your prescriptions have changed and there's a drug plan that would better cover what you take for your medications, then you can make that change at the same time. Again, you have to initiate it during the window of October 15th to December 7th, becomes effective on January 1st. So this is the one, again, you'll get a lot of mail, you'll see a lot of TV commercials, mostly marketing for Medicare Advantage plans, and why they put so much money into marketing, kind of tells the story right there on trying to convince you that that's the way to go. I would recommend against that. Stay with original Medicare. Your Medicare supplement plan, if you have a Medicare supplement plan, you don't need to do anything during the annual enrollment period. You can shop a Medicare supplement plan anytime during the year. You're not locked in to a window like you are with Medicare Advantage. So that takes care of enrollment period number 4. Enrollment period number 5 is what's called Medicare Advantage open enrollment period. And I choose to call it something different. I believe it's the Medicare Advantage disenrollment period. This runs between January 1st and the end of March. And what it's designed for is people that got pushed into a Medicare Advantage plan, found out it's not at all what they thought it was, and they want to get out. So they've created this window right after the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period for people to be able to exit a Medicare Advantage plan and come back to original Medicare. So thank goodness they at least put a period so you're not locked in for the entire year with that poor choice that you may have made with a Medicare Advantage plan. Gives you the ability to come back to original Medicare. Again, it would be effective the 1st of the next month, but you have to initiate it between January 1st and the end of March. And understand, if you're going to come back to original Medicare and get a Medicare supplement plan, you most likely will need to get medically approved for that Medicare supplement plan. So you want to make sure you do that before you cancel any Medicare Advantage plan. So let's make sure we get approved. And again, this is all stuff that we do. We walk through it. We make it easy. We handle anything that needs to go on in the middle. So just fill out the form on my website, MedicareOnVideo.com. Give us a call. We will take you by the hand and walk you right through it and make sure you get put in the position that you want to be put in. So that takes care of Medicare enrollment period number 5. Last but not least, Medicare enrollment period number 6. This is also a special enrollment period, and really it's not that complicated. It's for Medicare Advantage, Medicare drug plan only. So if you are in a Medicare Advantage plan, you know that you have a network of doctors, network of hospitals in your local area that you have to use. So if you move out of that service area to another city or another state, it gives you the ability to get into another Medicare Advantage plan where you move. This is very important to understand if you're going to be moving. You need to look at this ahead of time because you may be in a Advantage plan that you like where you currently are, but where you're moving, it may not be the same thing. Medicare Advantage plans generally are located in major metropolitan areas. If you're moving someplace rural, there may be limited Medicare Advantage or even no Medicare Advantage where you're going to move. So you need to understand that ahead of time because your health care is certainly a big, important part of your life going forward. So if you're going to move, just look at it ahead of time before you make final decisions so you understand what your choices are going to be, where you're going to move. So that gives you a pretty good overview of the 6 different enrollment periods for Medicare. Again, kind of crazy, but that's why we're here. We help. Fortunately, there's no cost to you to allow us to help you. So please fill out the information on my website. Give us a call. We'll make sure we get all your pieces put in the right places. Right now, I'll show you how to download my book for free, Medicare Made Clear, a great resource to keep on your computer or your iPad. Just has everything you need now and in the future. Put a lot of time into that. Hope you find it helpful. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video. I hope you found it very helpful. A couple of other things that you'll also find very helpful. Number 1, download a copy of my free book, Medicare Made Clear. I spent a lot of time and a lot of effort putting this together, and it has everything that you need for Medicare now and in the future down the road. I have videos in the book. I have all the links that you need for things that you'll want to do within Medicare. You can access it right in the book. Very easy to do. Just visit MedicareOnVideo.com/free book, and you can download it for free. You can save it on your computer. You can save it on your iPad. It's a great resource to have, again, for now and in the future. Another thing that you'll find helpful is down the road, when you come into Medicare, sometimes it makes sense to do a price check on your Medicare supplement plan. So I made it very easy to do that as well. Just visit MedicarePriceCheck.com, put in your basic information, and we'll email you a quote on your same plan that you have right now, a G or an N or an F, whatever it may be. And likely we'll be able to save $20 to $60 a month in premium, because a lot of times plans come out with better rates. So if we can get a better rate for the same plan that we currently have, just makes a lot of sense. And then obviously take advantage of all the information on my website at MedicareOnVideo.com. I have everything that you need right there for understanding IRMA, understanding employer work coverage, everything that you need, especially in the guides and forms section, you'll find right there. So we update everything every year, so everything should be up to date and current with the right deductibles and premiums and things like that. Hope you found all this helpful. Have a fantastic day. Wait, don't go anywhere. There's a couple more videos right here that you'll find very helpful with your Medicare journey. So take just a minute, watch the videos. You can also subscribe to my channel by clicking this button, and that way you'll have access to all my videos for everything that you need for Medicare. Hope you find it helpful. Have a fantastic day.